the truth.
Hey everyone, it's your favourite internet disappointment Optical here, and today I'm going to be discussing what the hell is Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. I've got a breakdown here that I'm going to be listing everything so you can get an understanding of what the Zombies experience will be about, so that you have your expectations set for this year's title being Modern Warfare 3, developed by Sledgehammer Games, and Zombies being designed by Treyarch. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies will not be a round-based experience. It's going to be an extraction-based survival shooter, which means that you and up to 6 other players, so you could be you and then 5 others, making a squad of 6 and 24 other players in the Zombies mode, will essentially cooperate together to discover different Easter eggs, different secrets within this map, which is expected to be the Warzone map, whether that be Al Mazrah or the upcoming one for Modern Warfare 3. Now, here's what it basically is. It's DMZ fused with the core Zombies gameplay loop. Kevin Drew presented the Zombies presentation to Call of Duty influencers that was sent out to the Sledgehammer Games headquarters, where each studio presented each different mode, talking about the core changes and what to expect with each different mode being in campaign, multiplayer, Warzone, or Zombies. It is not going to be the skeleton crew behind Vanguard Zombies. It is going to be the same team from Black Ops Cold War, as they're going to try to reinvent Zombies formula this year to essentially focus on round-based for Call of Duty 2024. Now, it's important to mention that this experience, as mentioned earlier, is not going to be round-based or objective-based. In terms of the extraction-based survival shooter, you're going to be in this map for 1 hour max, and the difficulty is going to increase through 3 danger zones. So you're going to have the low-end danger zone, the medium, and then the high-threat danger zone. In the low-end danger zone, you're going to be also not only going against the standard zombies, but you're going to be going up against human operators from a group known as Terminus Outcomes. Terminus Outcomes' main objective is to harvest the Ethereum that they've found to win this war, or at least have leverage, very similar to what the story was behind Black Ops Cold War when it was Omega Group versus Requiem. Omega Group was trying to harvest Ethereum in order to have leverage against the West and have a higher chance of winning the Cold War. We're going to be playing as a team of operatives known as Operation Deadbolt. We essentially act as the group that is trying to stop this kind of thing from happening from Terminus Outcomes, and the story is going to be set between Modern Warfare 19 and Modern Warfare 2022. This will be done solely by Treyarch, and they are essentially going to be not making the same common mistakes as they did for Vanguard. It's going to launch with Easter eggs and cinematic cutscenes launched by 3-act story missions. The 3-act story missions will be around the map, where players will have to complete different bits of tasks, and then there will be a map that the players will be teleported to within the Warzone map that is more bespoke and has things more designed for the Easter eggs. Should players complete this Easter egg, they'll be rewarded with a cinematic cutscene and blueprints and a new system called acquisitions. What acquisitions means is that players are going to have the option to build things like the ray gun, or they're going to have the option to take in any perk of their choosing to launch with the next time they head back into the map. So that way, it continues to flow in a new, unexpected way. Now, the important thing to mention is that, yes, the core Zombies mechanics like the wonder weapons, the classic perks, Pack-a-Punch, are all set to return. We don't know much on the power-ups, but I'm sure that I'll be finely tuned into the mode. Now, another thing to mention is that this is going to have a bit more of a stronger launch compared to what Vanguard was. If you guys remember, Vanguard launched with no wonder weapon, no Easter egg. That's all going to be their day one for this experience. So you might be wondering, who are Terminus Outcomes and who are Operation Deadbolt? Well, as mentioned before, Operation Deadbolt is the crew of operatives that we'll be using for the Zombies experience. Now, Terminus Outcomes are also, as mentioned earlier, a bit like Omega Group in terms of that they both have similar goals, but in a more modernized aspect. I do feel like this story is going to have a very much of a similar vibe to what Cold War was. And it's important to mention that Modern Warfare 3 Zombies takes place 30 years after the events of the Forsaken or Black Ops Cold War in general. So we could absolutely see some tie-ins to the original story. There are some plot points to to Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, we already know that Task Force 141, or specifically Ghost, is aware of some zombies' events. The events that Ghost is aware of is things like the Office of Requiem. In a piece of intel within Modern Warfare 19, during near the release of Black Ops Cold War, Ghost had seen a letter from the 1980s known as the Office of Requiem, and you could see in the letter that they go, what the hell is Office of Requiem? So we already know that in some aspects there is a clear seed that has been planted into this narrative. The important thing to mention was that zombies were the reason that Verdansk was nuked. There was a Russian ship called the SS Vodenoy, and what happened is that this Russian ship had basically collided into a dark ether entity, so that would be the dark ether orb that we see in Die Maschine. That was the events of Project End Station, and what essentially happened is that this ship was taken by the SS Vodenoy, and all the crew became infected zombies, and they essentially time jumped. So this kind of story was very similar to the Philadelphia experiment, that old conspiracy theory where the Philadelphia ship had basically disappeared, and there was a story that the crew had just completely disappeared for that time until they were found fused to the wall, but they were not, they didn't travel in time, they were supposedly teleported. So because of that, the ship was taken onto the Verdansk island, and then once opened up, a swarm of zombies had come out to the ship and had overrun Verdansk, and because of that, the response was to nuke the Verdansk map in effort to contain the zombie outbreak. So we already know that Treyarch zombies are canon to Modern Warfare in one aspect, but it's never been fully expanded until now. And this means that we're going to go a bit more into the deeper narrative side. And that's really exciting, because I think that we can start to learn a bit more to see how this universe ties together. You know, we already had a Treyarch zombies with Vanguard. It was another zombies crossover that people were excited for, but then sadly we all know what happened post-launch with that and on the actual launch day. But I think it's exciting to see how this kind of story can be told in a modern aspect, because this is the first time zombies goes, and no pun intended here, but it goes modern. We're going to see a lot of modern ways to tell this kind of story, and we're going to see obviously fan favourite characters cross over into a fan favourite decade-long storyline. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Of course, we're going to get callbacks to the original Cold War storyline, but I think we're going to have some little tie-ins to the classic Ether one, because we already know that at the end of Black Ops 4, when the characters sacrificed themselves to collapse the multiverse, every single Ether map, so whether that be through, Doris or Kino de Toten or Call of the Dead or just other iconic zombie maps, they didn't go away. They were sent into the Dark Ether. So we already know that they are still there, because in a piece of intel from Black Ops Cold War, Zykov, or who then became the Forsaken, Zykov mentioned that he could see different pieces of locations throughout history, and we already know that the Juggernaut he repaired. So that's the reason how we got the Juggernaut in this storyline, is that he repaired that from the pieces that were sent into the Dark Ether, and then he gave that to our characters to aid the fight. So very similar to like what Dr. Monty did, / the Shadowman did. He provided all these perk drinks and all these systems to aid our characters for survival before turning on us. So I absolutely think we're going to see some very light nods to the original Ether storyline, but more heavily focused on this new Dark Ether universe. But I think we could absolutely see some little things that are going to surprise people. I have a lot of confidence in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies because of the fact that Kevin Drew will be directing this. For those who don't know, approximately mid-2022 last year, Kevin Drew was announced to be the co-director of Zombies, as he worked on these perk systems and the general systems for Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Because of how well those were received, I can understand that he was obviously upgraded to become the director. And Kevin Drew has some very good ideas for zombies, so that's why I think that this could actually be okay. Will it be different? Absolutely. I want to mention that this zombies experience within Modern Warfare 3 will not be player versus player, it's player versus environment, so no team can grief your match or try and ruin the experience for you. You all have to work together, and 24 players on a zombies experience could be absolutely a lot of fun. If you've got vehicles going around, like, it can be absolute pure chaos. So I absolutely believe that this zombies experience, while it might not be perfect, I think it's going to be a great taste of what's to come for the future of zombies. And I also think that having something a bit different, you know, not trying to be a fusion of any modes, just something different is what zombies needs. It needs to bring in a new, you know, a new group of players. That's what Cold War did successfully. It brought in the group of Warzone players because it merged some aspects of Warzone into the round-based elements and Outbreak. And it brought those multiplayer and Warzone players in, and the zombies community expanded. Potentially, the zombies community could get even bigger if this zombies mode goes free to play, much like how DMZ was free to play. If they pull that off, I have no doubt that the zombies community is only going to get bigger, and I'm really excited for the future. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have a good day, and take care. Peace out. Bye.